All right. Week 10, commercial real estate with the Nardizzler.
Still here. You've got people calling me that now, which is funny.
That is funny.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
Been called worse.
Well, I'm moving a little slow today, but I'll get there.
Well, I mean, you just gallivanted to country.
Yeah, I did.
Band chasing.
Yeah, I did.
Where'd you go, Jeremy?
I went to New York and saw Pantera and Lamb of God at Madison Square Garden, and then
That's awesome.
went to Vegas and saw U2.
And U2 is no longer playing in the Sphere. What's the deal there?
I think this Friday is their last show.
Okay.
This coming Friday.
And how often were they? They
were playing like twice or 3 times a week, but it was just like a short-term residency there.
Okay.
So, but yeah, they're done. And they really don't have any. They have Fish coming, which I don't really care for that band, but
okay.
They don't really have anybody else lined up. I was kind of shocked.
As a residency?
Yeah.
Oh.
So, anyways.
Well, you have to live in Vegas.
Right? I mean, for 30 to 60 days, it's not the worst thing in the world.
I thought this was kind of like a Celine Dion deal where you're like there semi-permanently.
Well, I mean, yeah, but these residencies, they don't do them that long. I mean, you can kind of
get in, get out.
Yeah.
Stay at the Wynn in the penthouse for 90 days.
Yeah. Well, all right. Let's see what's going on this week. We've got jobless claims on Thursday, down to 206 on the forecast. The previous was only 201, so it's getting better. It's funny. Jeff and I were walking through the Venetian Saturday night, and he's like, what recession? I mean, it was packed.
Yeah.
I mean, just jam-packed. It got to the point where the minimums of the tables were $100.
Oh, my.
Like,
because they just didn't want people getting on the table?
No, I think I mean, it's like demand, right? They're like, hey, if demand's here, we raise the price.
Damn.
You know? Yeah.
And that's coming. Did they renovate that recently?
No,
it's still kind of antiquated.
Venetian's not antiquated.
Maybe I'm thinking about the Bellagio. Last time I was there, I was like, man, this kind of feels old.
Yeah. So, anyways, and then new home sales came out this morning. I didn't see what it is, but the forecast was 680 versus 646. Or 664 was the previous. So, all right, the Dow continues to go up. It's at 30. It closed out last week at 39,218, up 1.5%. The S&P was up 1.67% to close out at 5,091. The NASDAQ was up 15,996, and that's what it closed out to, and that's up 1.38%. How the stock market just keeps going up.
It makes me like kind of scared.
Yeah.
Because it's like stonks only go up, you know? But like how hard is it going to fall?
I mean, it's going to hit 40,000.
Dude. So. That's nuts.
Crude came down 3.5% to close out last week at $76.49 a barrel. The 5-year Treasury is up 1.63% to close out at 4.285, and the 10-year was down on the week, almost 1% at 4.251. SOFR remains the same.
I'm looking at just the Wall Street Journal, the front page. Bitcoin's ripping right now too. Not that we track that or we don't really care, but I mean,
I still don't get Bitcoin. I just don't know when it's ever going to, who's going to use it and how's it ever going to have true utility?
I agree, but just side comment, it's up 3.25 this morning, 323 basis points.
Wow. All right. Real estate stocks, REIT office getting crushed again. So it looks like people are just trading it within that range.
Yeah.
Let's see, REIT office. Oh yeah, they're all coming down. Kind of bouncing off that range. And then let's see, the leader last week was REIT Specialty, and leader was also second place was Hotel and Motel. But yeah, so that's real estate stocks, not a ton of activity in there. All right, well, term of the week.
What you got?
I'm just going. I'm just. I haven't had any gold lately, so this one's just circle back. People love to use circle back.
Yeah.
Hey, let me circle back to you on that.
Yeah.
I wonder who started circle back.
I feel like that got very common in 2015, 2016.
Yeah. This is about the time Huddle Up started going.
Yeah.
So, okay. So when you're pairing your corporate buzzwords together, you could say, hey, let us huddle up and we'll circle back to you.
Whenever I hear that, I just die.
Yeah.
I just die.
So it's to return to a conversation or topic at a future time.
There we go.
Yeah.
I just hit him up. Bella is not with us today, guys. So the control and the production is just Jeremy and I. So if you've got any interference here and there, and this is kind of not moving as usually as smooth, it's because our producer is out.
Yeah. All right. In news.
Circling back
to news. Crow Holdings closed out a $3.1 billion value add fund.
I saw that.
So they closed it.
Their 10th fund.
The fund could increase to 3.7. Let's see. So they're targeting value add real estate, multifamily, industrial. And they will also explore opportunities in manufactured homes, retail, self-storage, and student housing.
So everything except office.
Yes.
And hospitals.
So 25% of the fund has already been deployed in 14 investments. So I guess they closed it out though. So
that's some big dollars you're getting out.
So, but everybody talks about how raising monies right now is really hard. I don't think it's that hard if you actually have a platform.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. So, but yeah. They have a $31 billion portfolio.
Damn.
Commercial and residential. And let's see, what else did I have in news? Oh, this was kind of interesting. I don't know if you saw this in BizNow. I guess Stone Lake had purchased a piece of land in Oak Cliff to develop a 200,000 foot building.
Yeah.
And it got shut down.
The city?
Judge shut it down.
Oh.
A judge temporarily blocks DFW area warehouse project amid allegations of environmental racism.
What does that mean?
So here's what it says. A Dallas judge granted a temporary injunction request Tuesday that will block Stone Lake Capital Partners' construction of a 200,000 square foot warehouse in Oak Cliff. The motion filed February 20th by District Judge Aisha Redmond comes after Friendship West Baptist Church claimed the adjacent development on Wheatland Road would threaten the livelihood of nearby residents, students, and churchgoers. So you got a church that is pretty fired up about this. There's evidence that the harm is imminent and irreparable to plaintiff, Redmond wrote. These injuries will be irreparable to plaintiff unless these restraints are ordered against defendants because no other legal remedy is available to protect plaintiff from these injuries, losses, or damages. The city of Dallas initially denied Stone Lake's business permit, citing insufficient access from the Interstate 20 service road, but that decision was overturned by the Buildings Inspections Advisory Examining and Appeals Board. This prompted Friendship West, a black megachurch, to file the injunction request. Its lawyers claimed approval of the project would perpetuate a systemic trend of environmental racism made possible by the city's antiquated zoning laws. What does that mean? Because we put a warehouse here, we're not
adding more to the community.
I guess.
You would think that maybe a big tenant like that would hire from that area, but maybe they just don't want to. Don't like to build there because it's real estate, private equity.
Yeah, I mean that's probably a big part of it.
Yeah.
Stone Lake, they sit in the Crescent, and we sit down here in Oak Cliff, and
who are they to know what we need in our community?
Yeah,
that's
maybe could be what it is. Stone Lake sued the city of Dallas for attempting to derail the project by rezoning the property. A city of Dallas spokesperson declined to comment on the pending litigation. Man, Stone Lake has to be hot to sue the city because the city is literally immune. They can ruin something and they're immune.
Yeah.
I had a situation like that before where I felt the city damaged me by their statements to a purchaser of a property of mine where they had no basis for these statements. And
You couldn't.
I wanted to sue, and my lawyer was like, "Yeah, they're immune."
Jeez.
So that's interesting that they actually.
Well, it sounds like they have the zoning.
Well, it says, based upon the laws and the facts to prevent the very real threat of immediate and irreparable harm to the community, the court made the just and equitable determination that the injunction should be issued. The decision means that Stone Lake Capital Partners won't be able to move forward as planned, and the church will proceed to a trial in April of 25. The developer didn't immediately respond. So they got to sit on this till 2025.
Dude, that's
can't break ground. Very interesting, though. Like, I guess this kind of happened with, they kind of kicked GAF out of West Dallas the other day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The community was like, we don't want GAF here anymore.
Why?
I didn't really stay
They're
on
not
top
doing
of
anything
it.
dirty with that area, right?
I don't think so. I think that's really just a distribution site, not a manufacturing site. So anyways, yeah, man. Well, sorry about that, Stone Lake. That's probably really frustrating. But I guess equally as frustrating to the church. I still don't understand their point, but
I think it's kind of what you alluded to. We're in the Crescent.
Yeah.
They're in the Crescent. We're down here. This is poor black neighborhood. Who are you to come down here and do that?
Yeah, I guess it could be. Could be that. I feel like that's harder to prove than like what they're saying they're proving. I don't know. It seems like these are two. This, and you look back at the Trump one we talked about last week. It's like two court cases where the government interjected like opinion over the law.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know, especially if Stone Lake already has the zoning down there.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it sounds like the city tried to change the zoning.
That's what I mean. It sounds like the city is like,
yeah,
somebody should have thought about this before.
You know what the city needs to do? The city needs to buy it.
Yeah.
They want to end this, and they don't want to do all that stuff. The city needs to pay Stone Lake for it.
Yeah. Pay a market price.
Mm-hmm.
Neighborhood's happy.
Yeah.
Church leaders are happy.
Yeah.
Well, if it's a mega church, man, they're not going away. People are going to be donating their time, their resources.
Oh, they got the money for it.
Yeah,
that's what it sounds like,
I don't know the area of the land, but it just sounds like it's not going to get any better.
No. I mean, it just seems like the time suck on it. Like,
and the relationship's never going to be amicable if it's that close to the church and everything.
Yeah, maybe the church should buy it.
But if you're putting a 200 down, you got some land there.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's kind of all I got this week. What do you got?
I saw this morning from Strip Mall Guy, which kind of goes back to the big boy money. I don't know if you saw this, but it says he posted the real big money in real estate is in raising a ton of capital and buying just okay deals over and over again. The big guys know that at the end of the day, large investors are happy with mediocre returns as long as they don't lose any money. Nobody gets fired this way.
It's very true.
It's very true.
And not the worst thing. I mean, at some level of, like, I do think it's the higher you go up in levels of capital raising, the lower the return metric that is that they feel they need to achieve. Whereas where you raise, like with us, with like higher net worth individuals, they're usually very entrepreneurial people. They're not stewards of other people's capital. I think in that world, you're looking at these RIAs and pension funds and these stewards of other people's money. So it's like, okay, this is why you only buy tilt wall, core markets.
Yeah.
You probably really can't mess this. You probably can't lose money on it. You probably won't make a ton, but we're kind of just trying to beat inflation in the Dow Jones a little bit. So
yeah, clipping off 6 to 8 feels pretty good.
So it's a real fee game at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's a big fee-driven business.
Do you think Holdco then is pretty profitable then at that point?
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I bet.
It's tough to make Holdco profitable consistently.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you, now, I guess it depends on how people structure, but like, you know, our holdco makes money, but I mean, all of my money that I make on it goes right back into a building. So it's like, I don't really like take it home.
Correct.
You know, I'm investing it in the future. So
I guess then the thing is, well, they're also at a completely different life cycle.
Yeah.
Where, you know, that's kind of probably, that's the game.
Yeah.
Promote dollars and all that. I mean, it's important, but
yeah, but like
the asset management fees and all that, that's the important part.
Yeah. I don't know. It's funny. I was flying back yesterday and I wrote, okay, if you could buy $100 million worth of like really nice product with bad leases in place and say you couldn't mark to market the rent till year 4 and you did it on a 10-year hold, it only came out to like a 14% IRR on 10 years, which I guess isn't horrible, right? I guess money would, but the equity multiple was like 137. And like, it was like, I don't know. I feel like we see all these deals that have great basis and low rent. And I'm like, man, I feel like we should buy that. But the math just doesn't work, especially with where debt's at.
Well, do you think it works for these guys then? No,
I think it works because the investor made a 14% return. His deal level 14% return. So it's less than that for the investor. But maybe. I mean, generally they just don't want to lose money. Don't lose my money and beat inflation and pace with the Dow or beat it a little.
Yeah. Capital preservation.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if you walked into some of these pension funds and, you know, they're like, yeah, we just need to make 6% a year.
For sure.
You know.
I can totally hear that.
Yeah.
And big insurance companies like to be pretty liquid.
Yeah.
So, I mean, some of it's not, but.
Well, that's all I got.
I don't have much more. I think that's it.
Cool. Well, good luck out there, real estaters.
Stay hard.
See ya.